What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today, we're taking a look at a clip from The Line. If you would like to, please go down below to the description and find a link to The Line and to the live stream that this video clip is coming from. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to The Line. I host over on The Line at least twice a month, so I hope to see you over there. All right. Let's get on into the clip. If you're ready to fuck around and find out what this crazy ass caller's talking about today, then please stay tuned.
Kevin's calling from Oregon. Kevin's a theist, pronouns are him, that says, which biological women can play a skilled position in the NFL? Name one. I don't know any, couldn't possibly name any, don't understand why it's relevant to anything.
Yeah, you got Google right there. Go ahead. Name one biological woman that's ever played a skilled position in the NFL in the entire history of the NFL.
Kevin,
name one.
Why does this matter?
Kevin, listen to me. I can't name one.
It matters.
Kevin,
because you're fucking delusional. That's why it matters.
Kevin, I can't name one, and it doesn't matter. What difference does it make?
You can't name one, can you, Matt?
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't name one. There may not be one. Why is it relevant? Yeah. I'm trying to ask you.
Why is it? Why is
my
that?
God.
Why isn't there one?
You fucking dipshit. I am literally setting you up so that you can make your point, but you're too fucking stupid to recognize it. I'm asking you, why is it relevant whether I can name a woman, a biological woman, whatever the fuck that is, who can play a skilled position in the NFL? I don't know. And I'm asking you why it's relevant. And instead of answering the question about why it's relevant and making your case, you decided that it's much better for you to get muted and talked over because you're a little beta boy who's really upset about this stuff. At no point did any of us say that there are women who would be able to compete in the NFL. I'm just saying I would allow it. I don't know whether they compete. I don't know if there's women. I don't think there's women, generally speaking. I don't know that any of them tried out for the NFL. But there might be trans men and trans women who might play in the NFL. There could also be cis women who play in the NFL. But the fact that we don't have a cis woman competing in the NFL is entirely irrelevant to whether or not trans women should be able to participate in women's sports. See, you're talking about the NFL, a men's sport, ostensibly, and that there aren't any women in it. That's like saying, hey, we don't want trans women playing women's sports. So I'm going to talk about why there aren't cis women in cis men's sports. It's bizarre. I set you up for an opportunity to explain. So I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to make it really easy. Why does it matter to the subject of trans women in women's sports? Why does it matter whether or not there are any women who can play skillfully in the NFL? Try again.
It matters because it exposes your delusion.
How does it expose my delusion?
You're trying to pretend there's no difference between men and women. And the NFL and the NBA makes it.
No, I'm not. See, the thing, Kevin, is we already recognize there's a difference between men and women, which is why we use the labels men and women. And it's why we note that trans women are women, not men. We are not only highlighting that there are differences, we are advocating for those things. When you think that you've showed, I found Matt's delusion, he thinks there's no difference between men and women, when I've not only never said that, I've said the exact opposite countless times. You just told on yourself that you don't know what my position is and you can't represent it fairly. And similarly, you didn't answer the question. The question was, with regard to trans women playing in women's sports, how is it relevant whether or not there's a woman who can play a skilled position in the NFL? And your answer was because it exposes my delusion about how there's no difference. That's not my position. I don't have a delusion. You, though, couldn't argue your way out of a wet paper bag, because whether or not there are women who currently can play a skilled position in the NFL or ever could play a skilled position in the NFL is completely irrelevant to whether or not trans women should be included in women's sports. So you get one last try, Kevin, but you're really bad at this.
Yeah. So if LeBron James declares he's a woman tomorrow, should we let him play in the WNBA? You fuck.
Oh, I muted you before you got to your little fucking, you fucker. So if LeBron James says he's a woman tomorrow, you've already made a mistake, because that sentence should say, if LeBron James says she's a woman tomorrow. So you already started by misgendering your fictional LeBron James But if LeBron James comes out tomorrow as a trans woman, then we should respect her. And it would be up to the WNBA as to whether or not she would qualify to play alongside women in the WNBA. They are the ones determining what is or isn't fair for that particular sport, and it's based on science. So stop misgendering LeBron James and start making arguments that aren't built on straw men, and make a case for why this last chance, seriously last chance, why does it matter to trans women in women's sports whether a woman can play in the NFL or the NBA? Why does that matter?
The question is fucking stupid. You sound like a fucking idiot.
Anything else you'd like to say before I hang up on you, Kevin? I didn't think so. You know, when they call in and say, oh, you guys are wrong on the science, and then they don't present any science. You guys are delusional and think that there's no difference, when that's not what we think or what we said. And their only argument is, the question is fucking stupid. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry that you don't understand the science. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's literally no point in talking to somebody like that. Like, I can appreciate somebody that is very I guess vigorous in their argumentation, but I mean, like, you actually have to have argumentation. Like, you can't just have this whole dude bro attitude and think that you're just going to scoot by on it.
It's so weird because this is really simple. This shows the inability of the average person to understand and evaluate and present a logically valid and sound argument. I'm getting ready to do a video series on my channel that will be cut up into shorts with really simple shorts of, here's what a logical argument is, premise, conclusion. Here's how they can, all kinds of stuff like that. Here's this fallacy. Here's why it's important. Here's how to recognize it. I'm going to be doing that as the next kind of big project for the Atheist Debates thing, to create a little micro encyclopedia of shorts related to logical arguments. But Kevin represents a particular version of toxic masculinity combined with someone who has no ability to evaluate or construct arguments, because there's nothing about trans women in women's sports that is in any way impacted by trans or cis women in the NFL or the NBA, in ostensibly men's sports. Those things are completely different. It's like saying, hey, why shouldn't I buy a new Corvette? Oh, well, you definitely shouldn't buy a Tesla. I agree. You definitely shouldn't buy a Tesla, but that has nothing to do. See, logical arguments, I'll just go ahead and give you a little sneak peek. Logical arguments, logical syllogisms have major premises and minor premises and connecting terms. All men are mortal. Socrates is a man. And then they reach a conclusion by saying, therefore, Socrates is moral. The major premise, minor premise, and the connecting term. This is how we build arguments. It's not the only structure, but it's one of a variety of valid structures. Valid structures mean if the premises are true, or if you accept the premises, you have to accept the conclusion or you're being irrational. That's it. If your argument doesn't even include the terms that we're using, trans women, women's sports, and instead you do cis women, men's sports, there is no connecting term. Your premise does not address the subject we're talking about at all. I might as well say, how do you know Jesus existed? And then you say, well, God is good. Okay, I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if God is good, but what the fuck does that have to do with whether or not Jesus existed? You have to focus on the subject.
Well, heathens, that's going to be it for today's clip from The Line. Again, if you would like to subscribe to The Line, their links are in the description, so please go down there and subscribe. And as a reminder, I do host over there at least twice a month on either a Sunday or a Monday. So if you want to see more of me answering questions from callers, please go over to The Line and subscribe. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.